Have you ever tried to change a habit? A pattern, some part of yourself you're just done with, and you just can't? You start out so strong, you're totally all in, and then somehow you just slide right back to where you started. It has to be one of the most frustrating human experiences there is. And when that happens, we all tend to ask ourselves the same question. We look at this situation and think, why do I keep getting stuck? But, that's not really the question we're asking, is it? Underneath all that frustration, there's a deeper, more painful one that we almost never say out loud. The real question we're asking is, what is wrong with me? We take the failure and we just internalize it completely. We make it about our character or our willpower or some kind of fundamental flaw that's keeping us from being the person we actually want to be. Well, today we are going to answer that question. And I have a feeling the answer is not what you expect, but it might just completely reframe how you see this entire struggle. Because the problem, it isn't what you think it is. Nothing is wrong with you. Seriously, let me say that one more time. Nothing. What you're experiencing isn't some deep character flaw. It's not a weakness. It's just biology and psychology working exactly the way they were designed to. So the reason change is so incredibly hard isn't because you're lacking discipline. It's because you are in a direct head-to-head conflict with your own brain's secret #1 mission. Okay, so here's the core of the conflict. Your conscious mind, the part of you listening right now, is all about growth, right? Becoming a new, better you. But your brain, the ancient hardware that's actually running the show, it has a completely different priority: survival. And for your brain, familiar equals safe. Change equals unknown. And the unknown, well, that's a potential threat. And this isn't just a metaphor, this is literal neuroscience. When you try to make a change, your brain's threat detector, this little thing called the amygdala, it totally lights up. It starts pumping out stress hormones, and your entire system goes into this low-grade fight or flight mode, trying to pull you back to the safety of what it already knows. So that feeling of resistance you get, that's your survival system working perfectly. And as if that wasn't enough, there's another massive force at play: cognitive dissonance. It's this deeply uncomfortable feeling. It's like a splinter in your mind that pops up when your new actions don't line up with your old identity. Your mind will do almost anything to resolve that conflict. And you know what the easiest way is? Ditch the new habit and go right back to being who you've always told yourself you are. So, okay, if we can't just try harder and fight against our own biology, what about motivation, right? Just get more motivated. Well, as it turns out, relying on motivation is probably one of the biggest traps you can fall into. Think about what motivation really is. It's just a temporary chemical spike of dopamine in your brain. It's like rocket fuel. It gives you this incredible, powerful launch, but it burns out fast. It was never, ever designed to get you all the way to your destination. So this is the point, and it's so important, when that initial blast of motivation fades. And trust me, it always, always does. That is not a sign that you're failing. That is the exact moment the real work actually begins. It's the point where change stops being about feeling good and starts being about real discipline. The Stoic philosopher Seneca figured this out thousands of years ago. Lasting change isn't built on the fleeting impulse of motivation. It's built on the solid bedrock of principle. A deep commitment to your values, no matter how you happen to feel on any given day. All right, so if fighting our brain is pointless and motivation is a total trap, what actually works? Well, this brings us to a really powerful method that works with your psychology instead of against it. Another philosopher, Epictetus, laid out the entire strategy for us right here. It all starts with identity. Before you change what you do, you first have to change who you believe you are. This is the fundamental shift. It's the game changer. Stop focusing on outcomes like, I want to lose 20 pounds. Instead, focus on an identity like, I want to become the kind of person who is active and energetic. See, outcomes can be uncertain, but identity, that's a choice you can make this very second. So here's the practical framework. It really boils down to a simple 3-step process. First, you get crystal clear on the person you want to become. Second, you start proving it to yourself with small daily actions. And third, you make it all way easier on yourself by shaping your surroundings to support that new identity. I absolutely love this concept. You don't just magically become a new person overnight. You build that new identity one vote at a time. Every time you choose the workout over the couch, that's a vote for being a healthy person. Every time you read one page instead of scrolling on your phone, that's a vote for being a learner. These tiny little votes start to add up, and they become undeniable proof of who you're becoming. So, let's talk about how to start. This is where we make it so simple, so achievable, that it's practically impossible to fail. Seriously, the biggest mistake anyone makes is trying to do everything all at once. That just leads to burnout, and it reinforces that old, tired story that you can't change. So forget about some massive, life-altering transformation. Instead of all that, I want you to just cast one single vote. Don't try to become a morning person. Just set your alarm 5 minutes earlier. Don't try to become a writer. Just write one sentence. You want to make the first action so small, so tiny, that you literally can't say no. That one action is your first piece of evidence. And that is the start of everything. And this is where we're going to leave it. This final thought from Marcus Aurelius is the ultimate call to action, isn't it? Stop planning, stop researching, stop debating with yourself. The real work isn't in the thinking, it's in the doing. So the only question left is, what one vote will you cast tomorrow?